Hi, welcome to Bipolar Afterthoughts. I'm Liam Rosick, and I wanted to talk about two things that go really great together, and that would be therapy and addiction. Now, there's just so much to dive into in this video that I could make probably about 4 separate ones just on this basis alone. But I'm going to try to keep it very short and simple. With that being said, so I have been sober this month. On the 13th, I'll be sober for 11 months. And before that, I was an active drinker, and I would do drugs as well. Anything except for meth or heroin, pretty much. And before then, I had been sober for 7 months. And then before that, it was bad. But the worst of it was last year. And during this time, I was not going to therapy at all. And I've gone to therapy ever since I was 13 until about about 23 in 2020. That's when I stopped. And unsurprisingly, that's when my issues began to worsen anyway, because I had my first drink of alcohol when I was under the age of 5 years by my half brother, who's older than me by 9 years. And he also got me stoned at that young age, and so that I drank off and on for many years thinking it was normal. And addiction does run in my family, and I've got bipolar, which makes you more predisposed to being an addict. But since I was in therapy at such a young age, it really helped develop a lot of skills, a lot of assets to use when those times hit. And I didn't really realize how much not going to therapy was affecting me. Not just with addiction, but with depression and my other mental health issues. And once I got sober again, I kind of started therapy again. And I was going about 4 times a week, 2 with one therapist and 2 with another. It was very beneficial, and I only made the choice once I got sober to go back into therapy. And the reason I got sober, everyone says do it for, sorry about that, but everyone says do it for yourself. If you're going to do it for someone else, it's not going to last. While I mostly agree with this, for me, what prompted me to really get sober was seeing the damage I was inflicting on those around me who chose to stick around. During that time period, I lost a lot of friends, but some good ones. And that was because of the way I was acting and things I was saying, things I was doing. I look back on that time and I don't even recognize who the hell I was. I hear stories that I don't remember, and it sounds completely fictitious. Is that a word? Maybe. I don't know. I'm an author. I'm supposed to know this kind of crap. I don't, apparently. And I know it's not, though. I know it's not fiction. I know that really happened, and it makes me want to peel my skin off whenever I remember it or am told about something. That was the person I always swore I would never turn into on any level, but yet there I was. And I used to judge, even though I knew a lot about addiction, did a lot of research, did a lot of seeing, I still judged heavily. And I didn't realize that until my addiction became such a problem, and then I got sober and I looked back on it, and it turned out I'd been judging really harshly. And what prompted me to get sober, back to that, is, as I said, the pain I was inflicting. on other people. But this one particular instance in which I was about to try a drug that I had never done, have never done, in front of one of my best friends. And the look on his face, it stopped me from doing it. I just remember myself having that look. I knew what that felt like. I mean, I was really drunk, but I could still see it, and I guess I was sober enough to not be numb to his emotion at the time. And I got help by, before therapy, it was just my own, okay, I need to get sober because I don't want to hurt them, so that's getting sober for other people, but I also don't want to be that kind of person who can do that to anyone. And so that's also the part about doing it for yourself. And thankfully, a lot of the people who I lost contact with last year have forgiven me and talked to me now, and they understand that that's not who I really was. And, you know, because one of the friends I had for 10 years, and she couldn't take my crap, and I can't say I blame her. But we've gotten into contact again these last, I don't know, maybe it's only been a month, but she's forgiven me and understands enough and knows me well enough to know that that was not me, and I'm doing everything I can to stay sober. And it's one of the most important things is support, not only from friends and family, but also therapy. And therapy is just, talk therapy can sometimes be better or worse for an individual. Ooh, anxiety attack. Might cut that out, might keep it in. Real live, there you go. For me, it's always been beneficial. Now, there's also DBT and CBT therapy, and I've done some DBT therapy. That's the biggest thing that makes me change, honestly, is seeing myself fuck up and seeing how it's hurt someone. And because I hate hurting people. I absolutely hate it, especially if they are close to me. And you can't always avoid that, but with the things I'm talking about, you can do your best anyway. And in fact, I've got a therapy session later today. It's my second one this week. And I'm so grateful to be sober. Really, I am. And I'm so thankful that my friends stuck around, the ones who did, and I also appreciate those forgiving me because I knew it was not the real me. And it's been hard at times, of course, to stay sober. That's no secret. But I have. And, you know, the first time I got sober, I wrote a book. This time being sober, I've published it. So not being sober does not help me at all. It temporarily takes away the pain, I guess. But ultimately, it just adds more pain, which is a no-brainer. But sometimes your judgment just gets really cloudy and you can't see. And that's where therapy really helps. Because maybe your friends don't know which approach to take. The harsh one, where they cut you off, too supportive, where they feel they're enabling you, somewhere in between. It's very difficult for them, and you shouldn't have to, or choose to, I should say, lean it all on them. I don't really have a family, so that became who I leaned on, were my friends. And at times in which I shouldn't have. And I am very ashamed of that, and I regret a lot of what I did, a lot of what I said. So thankfully, though, now and for a bit, I've had my therapist again, and so the weight's hopefully not so heavy on my friends or the people in my life. I still go to them, of course, because you need that kind of support, just as you need support from therapy or AA. I don't really do AA. I mean, occasionally I'll hop on a video, but that's about it. So if you are an addict who wants to be sober or wants to stay sober, I really do recommend therapy. And if you're just a person who's watching this, I really recommend therapy, but you have to make sure it's the right therapist, because I was about to say you can never go wrong with therapy, but if you get a bad therapist, things can go really wrong. There's a lot of trial and error. If you don't click with one, keep trying, keep it going. It took me a while to find mine, and the right fit, I should say. So yeah, here's to about to be 11 months sober, publishing a book, and not being that god-awful person I was last year and kind of a bit the year before that. And as always, I'm continuously trying to grow on myself, not just with sobriety or my mental health, but just everything in general, even though it can be so difficult and challenging. I am constantly trying to learn new things. I read studies. I talk to my therapist a bunch. I ask questions. And yeah, this video might seem pointless, but I don't really think it is, because therapy is stigmatized and so is addiction. And you should really put them together and, go to therapy, whether you're an addict or not. But I'm just saying, for me, it's really helped keep me sober. And before I stopped going to therapy, I had it under control. I was not a mean drunk, and I've never been an abusive drunk physically anyway, but I beforehand, when I had it under control, it wasn't like last year at all. So therapy really helped, obviously. And with that, I'm going to end today's video. And I hope that you've got a good day. I have therapy today, as I mentioned, and that means it's something to look forward to. And I hope that everything goes well. Stay sober, whatever that looks like to you. And I did borrow that from another YouTuber. Her name is Jessica Kent. Look her up if you don't know who I'm talking about. And just, as I always say, do your best. Try. And that's all you can do.